2008 Honda Accord with a 2.4 liter, also applies for the V6, the same years, 2008, 2012. The color of the wires are a little bit different, as you already saw, for the V6 and for the 2.4 liter. I'm gonna be troubleshooting a 2.4 liter that has this code p0717, a problem in the input shaft, main shaft, speed sensor circuit, no signal. You have to read this carefully. I'm not gonna be reading too much. I'm gonna be providing some very brief explanation. Okay, as I said, this is the code I have here, and basically what you're gonna be doing first is jump this line, SCS. Now I gotta say something, this is personal. I have never jumped this line and I have never had any problem before. The idea of jumping this line is because is to be safe and not to damage the computer before disconnecting any other connectors of the PCM. Personally, I haven't done it, and I have done so many jobs in Hondas. So far, I have not damaged anything, but I'm not saying you to do it that way. Please jump it, because that's what Honda says. Okay, so disconnect the, after jumping this line, disconnect PCM connector 49, which is this one here. This is the connector 49, the entire, and check for continuity between PCM connector terminal C44 and body ground. Also, you're gonna be doing the same with terminal C48 and body ground. Here they are, 44 and 48. You gotta check continuity on both of them, on these two pins here. Okay, so it depends on the answer you're gonna get. That's how you're gonna. Okay, is there continuity? If you have continuity, go to step 11. If not, you have to repair the wires between PCM connector terminal C44 and C48 and ground G101 ground, and this ground here. Then go to step 32. It depends on what you get. So connect PCM connector, just connect the connector again, and this is the connector here. This is the one for the voltage, as I was saying. Check between this connector, between this terminal here of the sensor, of speed sensor, and body ground. You're supposed to get about 5 volts here. Is there about 5 volts? Yes. If yes, go to step 18. If not, go to step 15. It all depends on what you get. It's the same connector on the PCM 49P. Okay, turn the ignition switch to lock position. Disconnect PCM connector B 49. All right, so, and then turn the ignition switch to lock. Disconnect PCM connector B. Connector B is this one here. And the same 49 connector B. Let's see, check for continuity between PCM connector terminal B19, which is this one here, 19 right there. I wish I could make this bigger, but the software is not allowing me to do it. Sometimes I can make it bigger so you have better visibility. Terminal B19 and input shaft, main shaft speed sensor connector terminal number 1 here. So you gotta check continuity, and if you find continuity, go to step 18. If not, you have to repair the wires. Connect PCM connector B49P again. Check for continuity between input shaft and main shaft speed sensor connector terminal 2 and body ground. This one here, terminal 2 and body ground. That is the next step to do, and here it is. If you have continuity here, then you have to repair the short body ground to body ground in the wire between PCM connector terminal B18 and the input shaft, main shaft speed sensor. Then go to step 32. If not, go to step 21. Check for continuity between PCM connector terminal B34 and input shaft, main shaft speed sensor connector terminal 3. which is this one here, is that can already go to step 22. If not, repair the wire harness between PCM connector terminal B34 and input shaft main shaft speed sensor, then go to step 32. It depends on what you get. Connect the PCM connector B49P again. Turn the ignition switch to on. Measure the voltage between input shaft main shaft speed sensor connector terminal number 2 and number 3. So here is the image again, and also the color of the wires are there, so no way to get lost. So you have to turn the ignition switch on to do this. Measure the voltage between input shaft main shaft speed sensor connector terminal number 2 and number 3. Is there 5 volts? Supposed to get 5 volts. If you don't get a 5 volt, gotta go to 25, if not to 28. Yes, to 28. Alright, so turn the ignition switch to lock. Disconnect PCM connector B49P again. Check for continuity between PCM connector terminal B18 and input shaft main shaft speed sensor connector terminal number 2. And here we go again. This is terminal number 2. Alright, let's check for continuity between PCM connector terminal B18, which is this one here, which is this one, 18, and input shaft main shaft speed sensor connector terminal number 2. Is there continuity? Yes, go to step 38. If no, repair the open circuit and the wire. So read all of this here again, and it depends on what you get from here. Replace the input shaft main shaft speed sensor, then go to step 32 again, or no, go to step 38. It depends on what you get here. Always, as I'm saying, always read the instructions. Reconnect all connectors. Turn the ignition switch to on. Clear the code. Start the engine. Disable the VSA by pressing the VSA off switch. Run the vehicle with the shift lever and D, or drive and hold the vehicle at speed over 12 miles per hour, 20 kilometers per hour for up to at least 10 seconds. Slow down and stop the wheels. Check for temporary codes. Is the code p0716 or p0717 indicated? Yes, check for poor connection or loose terminals between the input shaft main shaft speed sensor and PCM, then go to step 1 again, so you have to start over. But okay, so basically the instructions are very clear to work on these codes. This was set for this p0717, but also applies about the same for p0716 for 2012 Honda Accord 2.4. That's the car I'm troubleshooting. Thanks for watching.